Welcome to this Markets.com company profile of the Verizon Communications, Inc. I'm your host, Armando Gutierrez, Jr. Now let's get started with some background information on the company, which has its headquarters in New York City. Verizon was founded by AT&T in 1983. The company has approximately 240,000 employees worldwide with a market cap of just over $100 billion. Verizon is a telecommunications company in the U.S. with two major divisions, wireline and domestic wireless. Wireline includes their legacy telephone services, Fios TV, Fios Internet, and its DSL. Domestic wireless, on the other hand, is 55% stake in Verizon Wireless. The company is run by its CEO, Ivan Sittenberg, CFO, Doreen Tobin, and CEO, Dennis Strigl. Let's talk about the company's place in the market now. Verizon is officially traded at 7 national exchanges with its main listing in the New York Stock Exchange. The major indexes it's listed on are the Dow Industries and the S&P 500. Now let's take a look at some figures as we examine the company's reported financials in 2007. Verizon's reported revenues over $93 billion with net earnings of $5.5 billion. As we take a look at the balance sheet, total assets for the company are just above $187 billion, while liabilities are $136 billion, with equities making up the difference at over $50 billion. Furthermore, the debt-to-equity ratio of the firm was sitting at 0.713. At the end of 2007, the company had 2.8 billion shares outstanding. On December 31st of that year, the stock closed at $43.69, whereas on July 14th of this year, it closed at $35.05. The company had paid more than $4.5 billion in dividends to its shareholders in that year. Now moving on to operations. As we mentioned, includes the two divisions of their services. As we take a look at these charts, we see that from 2005 to 2007, they increased revenues overall and revenue in wireless and wireless data. Additionally, they have increased customers in both wireless and Fios. 17% of cash used from the company went to paying down debt. Still, EPS has been declining thanks in part to the loss of phone line customers and the money put into expansion of the Fios lines. The company's vision for growth is very simple. They want to get rid of the businesses that are mature and declining and invest in the areas that are growing. Recently, they decided that they could do without their Yellow Pages operations, both the pages and online versions, in which revenues have been slowly declining. Meanwhile, they announced their purchase of Rural Cellular and Alltel Wireless, and also announced the purchases of different spectrums to be able to expand their wireless phone network and increase CAPEX in their Fios lines. Both purchases of Rural Cellular and Alltel Wireless show the positive and the negative aspects of Verizon and its business. Verizon's growth in both the wireless and broadband sectors this decade has been incredible. Still, all of this growth has come back with huge capital expenditures to upgrade networks. Now with the purchase of Alltel, they will take on a greater amount of debt. Many believe that Verizon, like many other telecoms historically, will produce very steady cash flows and therefore be able to pay off its debt and capital expenditures. To this point, revenues are outpacing costs, and one sees no reason why this should not continue. This brings us to our conclusion of this Markets.com company profile of Verizon Communications Incorporated. I'm your host, Armando Gutierrez, Jr., and thank you for joining us.